Good evening. Welcome to the 12-Man podcast live on YouTube, where you can see John. We'll be on Facebook. We'll be on all the popular networks that we're already on. And to listen to you whenever you really want to, because I don't want to talk to you at 3 o'clock in the morning. You got me, Steve Jackson. I'm your host for the evening. And there's only two of us tonight. Mr. John Donovan's with me. Evening, JD.
Yeah, evening. How are you doing?
Yeah, no, but I can't call you JD, can I? Because I'm not from New York.
Yeah, you can call me what you want. Yeah, the other lads are sadly, because they had Monday night watching the Borough. They've had to put a little bit of overtime in to make up for it, so they can't make the pod at this time. But anyway, just me and you, and I think Jacob's going to nip on a little bit later.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Me and you, I'm all right with that. We'll chat away. So yeah, if you want to get involved. Just drop us a comment or anything like that. Yeah, we'll talk about last night. We'll talk about the curse of the CBS again. Some good things, some bad things, unfortunately. But it's not the end of the world. We'll talk about what people said during and after, which I thought was ridiculous. But hey ho. So yeah, we'll go through that. But before that, you all right?
Yep, all good. Yeah, I don't know whether you can. I don't know whether you can see, but I've got a slight cut in between the eyes.
I did notice that. Yes.
Yeah, that was Saturday night. I'd been out to watch the rugby, and then the FA Cup matches that were on after it. So I'd had a few drinks, and I was putting my rabbit away. Well, my missus's rabbit, putting it back into the hutch, and we've got like a piece of perspex that covers the run, so that it keeps it dry. And anyway, I headbutted that somehow, and it's just caught me just above there. But yeah, I mean, apart from that, I had a great Saturday. No worries, no stress about worrying about the Borough. Yeah, it was all right. Rugby didn't go so well, but I had a good day out.
I agree with you on that one, but never mind. No, yeah, it was a stress-free weekend. It was nice. Yeah, but
couldn't wait to get it over. If I was honest, I couldn't wait to get it over to get down to Coventry.
I know. I said, no, don't rub it in. No, I agree with you. It's the only thing about playing on a Monday, isn't it? You've got to wait and wait and wait. Everybody else does their business, but yeah. So Monday did come, unfortunately. How was your journey down?
Oh, it was fine. Yeah. We got to that pub that you love, and the one that we've been to for many seasons. Still yet to come away from it with a win, unfortunately. But yeah, we got to that pub about 5:15. Give us a couple of hours before the match to get ourselves into the spirit, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, we're sitting in the same pub now. The old Black Bull. I do.
Black Bank.
Black Bank. I keep calling it Black Bull. I even called it that to the guy's face, and he was looking funny. Yeah. Oh well, but yeah, good pub. Really nice pub. Obviously, by the time you set off from that pub to get to the CBS, so about 15-20 minutes, isn't it, from that pub? So it's not too far.
Yeah.
Team came out. What did you make of the team?
Well, unchanged. So yeah, I was okay with it. I mean, looking now with hindsight, it would have been a benefit if we'd have had Dale Fry in the middle of a back three. But I was happy with the unchanged team, strong team, one that's served as well recently. So yeah, no problems with it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll go into why obviously that we said that because of a certain striker, which I put in our group chat. I'd love to wipe the smile off his face and then put watch him score now. Well, look what he did. But no, I had no problem with the team. Team was exactly what I expected. I didn't expect anything less. Let me say, I didn't know what to expect from Coventry. obviously they've been on not the greatest run of form. Even their fans were they didn't know what was going to happen. But kickoff came, and I knew exactly from that kickoff, I knew exactly what kind of game we were going to be in, because Coventry kicked off, and Tommy Conway got absolutely poleaxed twice. And I thought straight away, they're going to make this physical, horrible, and straight in our faces. And that's exactly what they did, didn't they?
Oh, absolutely. That set the tone, didn't it? Yeah. They'd obviously been well prepared and were well up for this. And I've read comments over the last few weeks on their sort of message boards about their team and how they're doing. Similarly, like I've read a few on Ipswich's as well, just to get the general feeling of what their fan base is. And they've said they've not literally took the foot off the gas, but that's how it appears to the fans. That they've the desire was missing in some of the last games, especially Oxford at home. So yeah, it was plain to see from, like you say, the very first 5 seconds of the game that they were there to do a job on us.
Yeah, and then literally within 2 minutes of that, we got our first warning shot, and what turned out to be a really tough night for Luke Ayling, because Hadji Wright got away and got his header on target, hit the post, and that was our warning shot of what was to come, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all those players involved in the build-up to that chance went on to have great performances. All the Coventry players that were that set up that chance for Hadji Wright went on to have really good, strong performances. So you're right, they were up for it. They set the tone very early on. And yeah, that was the start of a busy night, a tough night for us.
It was, and he said that the pressure kept ramping up, because you could see Frank Lampard forcing the play upon us and telling his players push them from the front, because even though they only had Hadji Wright up front, every time one of our defenders or the keeper got the ball, Jack Redoni stepped alongside him straight away. I noticed that, and that's how they played against us. And then I say the pressure came. I say we got into the game, but then the goal was coming. We knew it was coming. It came from two of the players that we knew were going to obviously perform well against us. Always have. Sakamoto to Redoni. Redoni put the ball in the box, and Hadji Wright got half a yard on Luke Ayling and put it into the net. Unfortunately for Bryn. Yeah,
it was good build-up play. I mean, like I say, Sakamoto, he had a great night, and we struggled with him all night. He was tricky. He was at the heart of a lot of their advances. And he was key architect of that chance that led to the first goal. But like I say, Ayling will have been disappointed with his positioning, and to be honest, any player in that position hits a target and scores.
Yeah, and do you think it was the beginning of a tough night for Matt Targett as well? I thought Sakamoto had a lot of success against him, especially in that first half. Obviously, we'll talk about what happened in the second half as well in a little bit, but that first half, Sakamoto really did have the bit between his teeth, and he was really going for him. It's like they told him, get direct with him, and we just couldn't cope with his pace and his trickery.
Yeah. I mean, he's a good player, and let's not forget, Coventry was second in the table. Yes, they've been on a poor run recently, but they were miles ahead only a few weeks ago, and that isn't down to luck, good fortune. It's down to having a good set of players. Maybe they've just eased up over the last few weeks, or just ran out of steam or whatever, and results haven't been as good as they were early on in the season. But there's still the same bunch of players, a lot of strength, a lot of quality in that team, and then they improved it in January. with Onyeka. He had a good game. Matt Grimes, obviously, and Sakamoto. Strong team. So yeah, it was a tough night for Target. It was a tough night for a lot of Borough players.
It really was, and I mean, you mentioned a few players there. One player you mentioned in particular was Frank Onyeka. I know he was close to joining the Borough a few years ago. Obviously, Brentford pulled the plug because of injury problems they had at the time. But he had a really strong game, and one of the key battles we thought we were going to have was going to be in the midfield. Obviously, with Hackney and Morris in there. They had Matt Grimes, Jack Redoni flipped into there as well. Onyeka obviously started his first game. And that's where that's where they put their stamp in the game, wasn't it? Really, Onyeka had a really strong game, took a stronghold of that midfield battle, and at times we really did struggle to get hold of that game in there.
Yeah, we had enough of the ball, but not in particularly in the right areas, and we couldn't progress with it up the field a great deal. You saw what type of game it was going to be because Morris and Hackney took a fair bit of physical attention. Morris had 2 or 3 challenges, really rough, hard challenges on him within a space of a couple of minutes. And it must have got to him because he retaliated and got the first booking of the match on was just after 20 minutes. So yeah, their game plan was quite clear. They were going to be strong, they were going to be physical from the off, and they were determined not to let us control the midfield as we have done in many games this season, and where we win our matches from. Having that dominance, they weren't going to let that happen.
Do you think, especially in that first half, obviously I noticed a few times we targeted round the wing backs as Conway got in behind. I think was it Van Eyck on his side. He got in behind him a few times. Do you think that's where we targeted a bit more? See, that meant that Brown found himself in the central position a bit too forward from the midfield, a few too many times. McGree wasn't in that mid-centre midfield either. Do you think that was kind of what cost us as well? They knew exactly if the force is out wide, they'll bring themselves back into the middle and win it in the space in there.
Yeah. We didn't do too badly. I mean, like I say, we had a lot of the ball. I mean, I think our possession was 70% throughout the game, but it's not having the ball; it's doing something with it. And yeah, I thought personally first half, Borough were poor. 2 players had particularly quiet halves. I thought McGree was quiet first half. I thought Whittaker was quiet first half. And we just didn't seem to be able to get any consistency in our play. They worked hard. They worked so hard. They'd obviously been well briefed, and that when they had to, they were committing fouls. We didn't get a great deal of protection off the referee. Like I say, I mean, Morris was clapped 3 times in quick succession.
Yeah,
he got himself booked shortly after in a bit of a retaliation type of challenge. But they didn't allow us to play our normal game, so we were having to resort to trying to get a foothold in the game in any way we could. It was frustrating to watch. The fact that normally we can beat the press. We can play the ball out, but it just seemed that if we beat the initial press, there was a second press, and we just couldn't get into any particular rhythm first half. It was frustrating as a fan watching it. I was right at the top of the stand and got a good view of the pattern of play, and it was just very frustrating.
Top of that stand, it's like getting a nosebleed up there. It takes ages to walk up those stairs as well.
It is. They're quite steep. They're quite steep as well. I must admit, with me not with my knee being sort of out of action for a while, and I haven't really sort of got it up to full strength yet. It was a struggle. It's not like St James's Park, but it's just a shortened version of a steep climb.
Oh, St James's Park, Jesus, that takes me back 17 flights of stairs. But
well, you're shaking hands with God at the top of there, aren't you? Bloody hell, it's that high.
you high fiving him. I know it's all right, but no, you're absolutely right. But before I start talking about the second half, people on Facebook and YouTube will see we've got a third person joined us. We're not Billy Normates anymore. Jacob Jervis has joined us. Evening, Jacob.
Evening. You okay?
Yeah, good. You?
Yeah, good. Thank you.
Good. You moved into number 10 yet?
Not yet. Bit of progress.
Every week. Every week.
I'm going to ask every week. I'm determined. But just before we go into the second half, obviously we were just touching on the first half there, Jacob. What did you make of the first half? Obviously, the word that's coming out, and it's coming into the YouTube comments as well. Borough were bullied in what they did. You say we were bullied out of the first half. Would you agree?
Yeah, certainly. I don't think we got started. I think we didn't like. Maybe it caught us off guard that they were in our faces a little bit. Pressing high up the pitch, not allowing us to. They were letting us have the ball, but not really in effective positions. So that they kept us pinned back with possession around the back four, or in the DM role or whatever. But they never really let us progress forwards with the ball because they would nip it in the bud, or they would win a contact, or win a tackle high up the pitch. So I think that was our biggest issue. And yeah, I think where the game was probably won and lost was probably in the midfield. And for once, unlike our midfield, probably the first time actually this season where you feel like our midfield's probably not at the better of theirs. And again, I don't know if that's just because they turned up, played well, and we just weren't quite at it, or whether Lampard has done something tactically and got it right, possibly. I noticed Alan Brown was out when we didn't have the ball, and they headed towards with their goalkeeper. Alan Brown seemed to be the highest player out of possession for Borough, and I don't think that worked in terms of him being the furthest forward to either try and win the ball back. Because if we didn't, it seemed to create a bit of a void within the midfield. So that's something I noticed. So I don't think that quite worked. And again, overall, the first half, I just don't think we got flowing. We didn't really get moving. There wasn't many patterns of play. And I think they were, like I said, I think they were quite happy for us to just have the ball. Yeah.
Well, I mean, one thing we failed to do was we didn't quiet their fans. We didn't quieten them down. The only time they went quiet for a short period was when we got our goal. But if we'd have been able to keep it at 0-0 for maybe 10, 15 minutes, there would have been a definite lull and anxiety and nervousness in their stand. But like you say, after a minute and a half, they hit the post, and then after what was the first goal? 7 minutes or was it
21?
Oh, was it? Oh, bloody hell! Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, and they got a lot of confidence in their team when they saw them winning physical challenges, like you say, hitting the post in the first 2 minutes, and then other chances they had, and then the goal at 20 minutes. I thought it was early, I'll be honest with you, but yeah, they were really up for it. Then they saw their team were putting everything into this game, and so they responded. I just wish we could have gone on a little bit longer at 0-0 and just to quieten them down, and because when they were loud, it was impressive. Their noise was really good, and I would have liked for us to have just shut it down and been able to sort of quieten their 12th man.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I completely agree with you there. Everybody's going to listen back to this or listen to it when you go, I wish we kept it 0-0 for just 10, 15 minutes. And everybody's going to go, we did.
Sorry, for some reason I thought it was earlier than the score, but anyway, time flies.
Yeah, time flies when you're having fun. But no, it just shows that they were so dominant for it. And I think the key word, especially when we now move into the second half and what happened in the second half, was the timing of each goal. I mean, the second goal. I mean, before I even get into the second goal itself, because I was absolutely appalled by the second goal, I really was. But John, we started really well. Second half, it's like Kellberger told them, "Hang on, we're not out of this game. We could be completely out of this game, but we're not. It's only 1-0. Let's get stuck into it. Let's play our normal game." And all of a sudden, the chances started flowing because McGree got more involved. Because we've all said he wasn't involved first half. He was very quiet. And all of a sudden, we started thinking, actually, we could get back in this because the next team that looked like scoring before they did was us.
Yeah. I mean, Whittaker had missed a header in the first half, but to be fair, I mean, he's not renowned for his aerial presence. But he had a chance first half that hit a defender, but then he had a better chance again with a header just after half time, and probably anybody else makes a better effort on that, and we could have found ourselves level, but that's ifs and buts. We don't know, but yeah, we certainly started off okay.
We did. We got hold of the ball in the better places, and we seemed to take a hold of the game, because that's when I noticed the crowd started getting a little bit quieter, and I thought, because they know they're in a game here, but the goal, Jacob, the second goal, it was Route 1. It was Route 1. I had a lot of people saying, well, what's Bryn doing for that goal? You can't blame Bryn. It was just another goal where Luke Ayling got caught the wrong side, got caught ball watching, and Hadji Wright got in behind and finished it.
Yeah, I mean, it was... Obviously, we'll go on to the third goal, but the two goals we give away in the second half were everything you get told not to do in football, from probably 9-year-old till whenever you stop playing. But second ball, it for me, it's not the goalkeeper's fault. It's on Ayling. I mean, as a defender, you're told not to let the ball bounce. Attack it, whether you skew it out for a corner or wherever you put the ball. Just get rid of it. Don't risk that contact in the box or them getting onto it. So, yeah, I fully blame Ayling for that one. Start second half brightly. We'll probably add them where we wanted to have them rather than the other 50 minutes of the game. We finally looked like they were starting to be a little bit more uncomfortable. Again, probably still doing little in terms of forcing their goalkeeper into doing much. But again, it was perfect time for them to get a second goal, because they just rode the wave of pressure for 10 minutes, and then to make it 2-0, it's a bit of a sucker punch. Then again, the Borough team responded quite well to the second goal, kept going. But then obviously we're going to go on to the next one. But again, that was classic. Again, once you've got yourself back in the game, what do? You make sure you don't concede another early goal.
Yeah. We'll go through that mad 90 seconds in a minute. But what was the feeling like in the stand, John, from that second goal? Because I mean, obviously, where the away end is, it was obviously right behind the pass forward from Rushworth. I couldn't believe it when it happened. I thought it's so basic how we've let ourselves get suckered in like that. I was so disappointed. And it's the first time I've been properly disappointed in a Borough goal. Sometimes you think, oh, yeah, fair enough. But that was just completely avoidable for me.
It was, and it was like a throwback to the 80s, wasn't it? With a long kick with a striker running onto it, smashing it home. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure who was at the main culprit for that goal. I don't know whether yes, Ayling should not have let the ball bounce. He should have been goal side of his man. But it did seem that Bryn raced out, changed his mind, and then backpedaled. And that won't have helped in him getting set up to defend the shot. But it was such a poor goal to concede that we've said it for long enough. 1-0, game's always alive. Even if you're dominating the game at 1-0, the game's always alive for the chasing team. But at 2-0, you've got that little bit of a gap, and it makes it a lot more comfortable. You can play your game with a lot more freedom and just try, and you don't have to push on. You can just try and kill the game. So that was a major time in the game, and it was what was that one, 55 minutes? Have I got this one right?
Let me double check. Yeah, it was 55 minutes. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and it knocked us back, and from what I could see from our end of the ground, it looked like a great finish, because it looked like he'd gone close to the byline because like I say, it was at the other end of the pitch. But it was just the fact that we'd started well and we were getting into the game, and like you say, their crowd was becoming a little bit nervous, seeing that we were getting back into it and knowing what a good team we are. To get that goal lifted them once again, and it took the wind out of our sails. It was a terrible goal to concede.
Yeah, it was just so disappointing. It was really disappointing. It's all good about making mistakes, but that was just so poor. I mean, one of the comments just come through there on YouTube saying, "Could you look at Malanda for not coming across?" But for me, it's Wright had a plan. He stuck on Ayling all night. He didn't go anywhere near Malanda. He knew exactly what he was doing. And Ayling, it was one of Ayling's poorer nights for the Borough, unfortunately. He's just got outclassed and outfought by a bigger striker. And it cost us to go 2-0 down. But we responded well again, got back into the game. We made some changes. Sarmiento came on, hit the post, which quite frankly I thought was in. Because they say the angle of the Borough end as well, that would have been right on the shot. As soon as he hit it, I thought he curled it perfectly past Kyle Rushworth. But when the goal came, John, hope, and I thought we finally clicked, we finally got going, and it's forced Coventry to panic a little bit in the back, and Riley McGree finished really well.
Yeah, I mean, we hadn't really troubled their keeper that much. No. But like you said, I got a great view of the Sarmiento shot, and it was bending in all the time. And you know what? He was just maybe a couple of inches from it being a fantastic goal. Like you say, another couple of inches, and it takes just a slight touch off the post and goes into the net. But it wasn't to be. But we kept on pressing forward, and I think it was Sarmiento's shot that got blocked. Was it that fell to McGree? Yeah, and he put it away. And yeah, we think game on. What was it? 20 odd minutes, 25, 30 minutes left at that point, and you think, come on, we're back in this now. Let's push on. But at the very next attack, once a game had restarted, and the very next attack from them, we get the penalty decision, and I can't argue with it if I'm honest. The penalty, I think if that was a Coventry defender, I'd be screaming all day long for it. It was a bit unfortunate, but it struck his hand and it diverted the course of the ball. And yeah, my heart sunk when I saw the referee just stop his run take the whistle to his mouth and put a straight arm pointing to the penalty spot. I just thought, terrible timing, absolutely terrible timing after us just getting back into the game.
I know. That's exactly what I thought. I mean, Jacob, you said it perfectly. When you taught as a youngster, when you get back into the game, just keep it solid for five minutes if you can. We kept it solid from kickoff for 19 seconds. 19 seconds until the ball hit his hands. There was no complaints from me. I thought it was a penalty, and to be honest, it summed up probably Target's poorest night in the Borough shirt. And I say this podcast is not to pick out individuals and say they were awful, they're awful. But we just all picked the wrong night to do it at the same time. But I couldn't complain with that penalty at all.
No, I think it was definitely a penalty. It was unlike us. I mean, can't remember too many teams playing as direct as Coventry in the last few weeks in terms of putting it on us, which is going to be something interesting going forward because they've had success from it. So you're probably more likely to see teams doing that, I think, over the next few weeks now. And we've got to be able to stand up to that. Because, again, when you're playing teams like Oxford and Leicester, tough games because they need to win. They're in position where they've got to win games. And often, towards the end of the season, style of play goes out the window and teams sit back and look the ball forward and try and stay in the game and nick a lucky goal. And that's the way teams are going to play more and more, I think, towards the end of the season against us. So it will be interesting to see going forward. Again, going back to the goal, it's disappointing. I mean, it's just a basic long ball off a kickoff, isn't it? And that you deal with 99% of the time, and we just didn't. I think that, like you said, Steve, I think Target and Britain, I mean, they've been fantastic this season. But I don't know. I just thought the whole back four was a bit off. And again, if you watch the whole game back, you might say, oh well, they were a bit more open in terms of they didn't have much as well protected as they usually are from Morris and Hackney, possibly. But just in terms of moments and headers and blocks and things, we were just a little bit off, I think. The whole back line just seemed a bit more disjointed. But yeah, disappointing because, big game and to lose big game by terrible goals is frustrating.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. You summed that up pretty well, haven't you, John?
Yeah, but credit to Coventry. They stopped us playing our normal game. They were very physical, like Jacob says. Also, at times they were very direct, and they had a man up front who was good on the night, and he was able to handle that and hold the ball up well and bring others into play.
Yeah.
So yeah, Coventry got it right on the night, and there was no complaints with regards the result. It was just disappointing of the manner of the goals we conceded. But hey, let's go back to just before the Norwich game. We had people were talking about the next three games massive. Norwich were on a fantastic run. We got 3 points. We went to Sheffield United, played fantastically well, especially first half, got 3 points. Last night we were beaten, but that's still 6 points out of 9, 6 points out of 3 games, an average 2 points per game. That's okay, as long as Kim Hellberg and the players learn something from last night, and we see a response in the next 2 home games. We consign it to history and say, right, lesson learned, move on.
Well, that's it. And if we got the 2 points a game that we just got from the last 3 games, we end up on 89 points. So, it's not all doom and gloom. Yes, it was very disappointing, and it's probably because it's the opponent, to grab top spot after so long and let go after a week was disappointing. because it's Coventry again. We've got such a poor record against Coventry, especially at the CBS. I mean, it says it all when people put it online. I've actually seen us score at the CBS now, and I thought that says it all, really. You know, how bad our record is there, and yeah, it was just a bad night. It was a bad night, which I'm hoping Borough fans, as soon as they got back onto the motorway, to come back towards Teesside, they just thought, right, that's it, gone now. Can't think about it, can't dwell on it. Obviously, we've had to, because otherwise it would make a really boring podcast if we didn't dwell on what happened last night. But yeah, we just got to move on, and it's happened.
Yeah. It's not the end of our season, Similarly, if we win the next 2 games, and should we find ourselves top after the next 2 games, if Coventry don't match our points, still not season over. Just let's keep our feet on the ground, and any setbacks that we have, just take them on the chin, and just I've seen some pretty outrageous overreactions, I'll have to call it, on social media, and I don't know whether some people are just fishing for bites. I don't know, but yeah, it's a defeat. But we've just had 6 wins on the bounce, 18 points out of a possible 21 in the last 7 games. We'd all take that, wouldn't we?
Of course, we would. If we'd have all took 3 points from the last 2 games, we all said 2 points, didn't we? So
yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate. We would have preferred it to be a loss against Sheffield United and a win against Coventry. That would have been a better return of those games, the 3 points that we got. But it happened to be the other way around. That's just how it is.
It is. I say we just have to consign it to history and move ourselves on. Usually after a disappointing defeat, I'm quite reluctant to ask for a man of the match, but I've actually got one for this week. So I'll start with you, Jacob. Who was your man of the match for last night?
It's a shame Daly's not on, actually, because I was begging for him to come on, actually, half time. So I'm going to give it to Sammy Ento, and one of the positives of losing the match last night is that it gives the manager the more of an excuse to maybe shake things up for Saturday, because as much as the team's been great, I think there's actually probably 3 or 4 changes that we could possibly make, actually, to just freshen things up. But yeah, Sammy Ento for me, yeah.
Okay, John?
Yeah, Sammy Ento. I think when he came on, he looked lively, unlucky not to score. He was a positive, definitely. So yeah, same as Jacob.
Yeah, I'll make a full house. He was my man of the match. I thought he was brilliant when he came on. He brought a bit of life to our front line. I say we look like we were actually more productive going forward. I could say the same with Strelic as well. I say Strelic got into some positions which forced their back line into places where they didn't want to be, which then brought in players like McGree, Sammy Ento, to influence the play. But yeah, Sammy Ento was brilliant when he came on. I thought he was really, really good, and showed us exactly what we all wanted when he joined. A bit of promise, a bit of flair, a bit of something different. And it's like Jacob said, if it gives the manager an idea of what we need to do going forward, do we need to change it up? Do we need to mix things up? Then he's probably a good starting point. So yeah, he was my man of the match for sure.
Yeah, we're going to have to mix it up, to be honest, Steve, because we can't be relying on the same personnel all the time, because they'll pick up injuries, they'll get fatigue, So yeah, we're going to have to mix it up. We've got 2 games this week, so Saturday, Wednesday, So we're going to have to.
Don't be previewing Leicester too early. We'll do that next week.
Yeah, okay.
But no, you're absolutely right. It's we've got midweek games coming back into the fall now. So you're absolutely right. Another one that impressed me as well was Cali Sen. I thought he got himself about a bit in the front line. He really should have scored. I know he was offside. I know he was eventually given offside, but even he'd be looking at that chance and thinking, "How the hell have I missed the ball from 3 yards out?" But he caused problems as well. So there's options on the bench to bring on. players are coming back into it. We can freshen the back line up. Dale Fry's back. Alfie Jones isn't too far away either. When they say he's getting towards fitness soon, so it'll all come into play when the big moments come in April and May. So I'm reporting I didn't know it. Right. Before we talk about Saturday's game, obviously a couple of things to mention. Firstly, the season ticket renewals came out. We were given fair warning they were going to come out. There has been an increase. Fair play at the club, though. They have given the full detailed reasoning for their increase. Which, JD, I've looked at, and I can see the reason why they have increased them, and the increase wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. I think there's been mistakes made over recent seasons with regards to lack of communication about either increases or even the season where they sent out renewal forms and they were so blunt and cold, and it left everybody a bit angry about it. There was no thanks, there was no appreciation of the fans. They seem to have learned from past mistakes, and yes, I mean, there is a slight increase, but the way I look at it, I mean, they've invested on the pitch, and that's what we go to see. If the club weren't investing on the pitch and trying to improve the squad and the standard of players and our chances to get into the Premier League, then you could question the club about that. But we've given ourselves a great chance to get up by spending well, and spending quite a fair bit. I know we've had some incomings, but the little messages that they put out with the season card renewal video, it explained, like you said there, Steve, it explained the price increase and the increase that the club have had to pick up. So yeah, I mean, by and large, I think it's gone down quite well. That openness, that honesty, that communication, people are saying, all right, fair enough, I understand why, and fair play, well done to the club for that. There's only one little bugbear for me, is the fact that if you want to keep a physical season card, you're going to have to pay an extra £10. Now,
Yeah,
I know people who refuse to have smartphones by choice. They don't want a smartphone. They want a phone for texts and for calls, and also elderly people who aren't digitally inclusive. It's an extra charge for them. I wasn't too keen on that extra charge, that extra £10, but by and large, it hasn't been too bad.
No, you're absolutely right. So that was the only thing I didn't really agree with. I thought, why are we starting charging for actual physical cards? I mean, yeah, I'll probably be one of the people that does have it on the phone, because yes, believe it or not, I will be coming back next season full time. I will make sure of that. Yeah, that's the only thing I didn't agree with. But it's good that they included, let's say, the paragraph within the renewal saying, thank you for the incredible support they've had this season, and going for, and hopefully they'll be back next season as well. So yeah, they've definitely learned from a really bad PR campaign, should we say, a couple of years ago. So yeah, it's all come good. Jacob, what did you make of the season ticket renewal prices that came out?
I won't comment too much. I mean, John's much more clued up on that stuff than me. I think he put it over quite well. Yeah, I mean, I read the reasoning, and to be honest, I think it's fair enough. I think it's probably echoed by any football club or any business, really. It's kind of the same thing that a lot of people are saying. So, it's one of them, isn't it, Matt? Your Spotify goes up £1 a year. whatever it is usually goes up by something. So sadly, I don't think Middlesbrough Football Club can just be exempt from that. It would be nice if it was for people, but most of the things go up every year. So that's just the way it is. I think, sadly. But no, I think the communication aspect's good. And again, I think whatever decisions you make, as long as you're transparent and honest about it, most people will accept that, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Before I move on, there's a lad that's popped up on YouTube. He's typed John about 6 million times. He's asked me to say hi to Daniel Skip. Do you recognise that name, John?
I don't, if I'm totally honest.
Well, he said to say hi from him.
Okay. Hello, Daniel. I'm sorry that I don't recognise your name, but probably if I could get a face to match it, then I probably will. I'm far better with faces than I am with names. But hello, mate, and thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.
He said, "Say hi to John." You gave me but didn't tell me what you gave him.
Surprise! I gave him a shock. I gave him a perforated eardrum because I was shouting so loud at the match. I don't know. It could be anything, couldn't it?
It could be anything. John gave me so I don't know what but he says he gave me a hat. Oh, there you go. You gave him a hat.
All right. Well, if you're Bubsy's, if you're in the North Stand with Bubsy, then I know you are.
If not, you're someone random that you give a hat to. But yeah, if you're there Saturday, go say hi to him. Go say thank you for the hat. Or if you're not busy tomorrow, because now we've got the scene tickets out of the way, I'll hand over to you, John, because you've got a meeting tomorrow night at the Riverside, haven't you? Well,
yeah, us and a few other lads who were sort of part of the 12th man and try and get things organised within the North Stand. Yeah, we've got a meeting. We want to improve the noise levels and the colour and the general level of support from within the North Stand. We've seen at times how good it can be, how noisy it can be, and we're just trying to sort of get some fans to a meeting to discuss how they think it could improve, the things that we could do. We'll also talk about some of our own ideas, but at the end of the day, it needs a lot more people to participate in getting behind the team on a regular basis, irrespective of what the scoreline is. You know, the team still need our support if we're not doing well. And I think we've seen over the years that the fans, when they're fully behind the team right throughout the stadium, can give the team so much of a lift. And we've got a big chance this year. We've got a massive, massive chance to fulfill everybody's dream of getting Premier League football. So I would just like to say to everybody who's listening or watching on YouTube, if you want to come along to a meeting tomorrow night at 6 p.m. at the Riverside Stadium, it's in the media suite. You can gain access to that via the main reception. There'll be a few lads from the 12th man, and we can have a chat with you, and you can give us your ideas, your thoughts. We've got lots of information with regarding season tickets, which are still available. The seats in the blocks towards the back of the stand that are still available. So if you wanted to relocate, if you wanted to come and join us, we can give you details. And then, or if you want us to, we can take your details and go to the ticket office and arrange that seat move for you. Like I say, we just want more people in a similar area with the same passion for the club to get behind them and recreate the noisy north that we used to have. The South Stand do a great job. and we think that the North Stand can do a similar job. So the team have then got two noisy sets of fans at either end of the stadium.
Yeah, absolutely right, and that's it's not about creating a divide of we want to make the North Stand better than any other stand or anything like that. It's like John says, it's about creating an atmosphere that gets louder and louder and louder. A bit like what we used to have. Remember the European nights used to be hell of atmospheres for them nights. Chelsea a couple of years ago. The atmosphere that night was amazing. Tottenham at home in the FA Cup was amazing. Brighton 10 years ago.
Norwich 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's Norwich 2 weeks ago. It's little Daniel. He wants to get a season ticket now. So yeah, if you get in touch with the club, Daniel, they say they'll sort you a season ticket out. Block 23, right at the top. So yeah, if you're available and you're listening before Wednesday 6 o'clock, go Wednesday 6 o'clock. If you're listening Thursday, there won't be there. I'm sorry, but get in touch with the Facebook page, YouTube page if you want, Twitter, whatever you want to get in touch with us. Just give us your thoughts, your ideas. End of the day, we all want the same thing. We all want success on the pitch, and we believe success on the pitch can be affected by the success in the stands. Let's not just have one stand influencing the atmosphere. Let's have all four. And if we can make sure that the North improves as much as the South, then you say both ends of the pitch will be bouncing for when the teams attack.
And I'm sure when those two stands do, it'll raise the atmosphere also of people in the East and West, and hopefully we get something happening on a regular basis where the whole of the stadium is fully supportive and noisy behind Kim Hellberg's band of brothers.
Exactly. I say the games are only going to get bigger from here to the end of the season. We've been through this before. We went through this 10 years ago. It's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And I say that the only way to influence it is to be there to, if you have got an idea, let the lads know. I say I'd love to be there. Unfortunately, I can't. But I'll let the lads know my ideas. Ready for when I come back before the end of the season, because I will be back before the end of the season. I cannot wait to get back on that North Stand. Hobbling up them stairs. Yeah, it's going to be fun. But hey ho. But yeah, and the first of them big games starts Saturday. Oxford United at home, which to many people will think it's only Oxford, but Oxford went to Coventry and got a result. They can do exactly the same to us. We just got to treat this game, John, as any other game. Go into it exactly the same attitude, the same principles, and with the same philosophy of really just putting our foot on the gas like we have done barring Coventry.
Yeah, and you mentioned there, that they kept Coventry to 0-0 last weekend. They kept Sunderland to just one goal, a penalty against them in the FA Cup. So it's not going to be easy. So yeah, the crowd can make a huge difference. We need to stay behind them, even if the scoreline's not favourable for us. We can always turn it round. So yeah, we've got to get behind them against Oxford. It'll be a tough game. Got to get behind them, stay behind them, and hope that we can influence the players to get 3 vital points, because that's all that matters. I mean, I'd love us to sweep them away, but I'll be honest with you, it's just about getting 3 points.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how we do it now. We're getting towards that end of the season where we just need to get the 3 points on the board. End of the day, we need to get the results, and I'll start on Saturday. But Jacob, you mentioned obviously starting with changes. Is Sami Anto your first to come straight in?
Yeah, I think I'd look for like a 4-4-2, 4-2-2, whatever you want to call it. Be Britton, Fry, Melander, Target, Hackney, Morris, McGree, Sarmiento, and I think I'd play Strelak and Conway up front. I think.
There you go.
So yeah, bring in Fry, Strelak, and Sarmiento. Yeah.
Yeah, freshen it up on all aspects. When he said 4-2-2, I thought he's going to start Borough Taxi's number here. I thought there's something wrong. He's kind of fun. But no. What do you agree with them changes, John?
Yeah, some of them. I think I would like to see Sarmiento come in. Yeah. Not sure about Strelak and Conway. I think maybe Strelak could be a second half substitution midway through the half. Stick with Whittaker and Conway for now for me. But Dale Fry, yeah, want to come in. So yeah, I think we might see a couple of changes on Saturday.
Yeah. Daniel says bye. So there you go.
Okay.
And he's asked if you're going to the Oxford game, so you'll probably see you Saturday.
Yes, and Daniel, come up and tell me who you are. I'll probably know you by face, but I just didn't know your name, so thank you for being in touch.
Yes, thank you for subscribing and listening as well. Thank you. So, yeah, the only thing we've got left to do, really, lads, is stick a score prediction to this. I'll start with you, Jacob. Score prediction for Saturday.
Ooh, I'm going to go with a very late 1-0 win.
Not having that, like.
That would be tense.
Have to pick a score as well.
Yeah, go on.
Sarmiento.
Okay.
That
John?
would be nice.
It'd be nice.
I'm going to go 2-0 and Hayden Hackney.
Okay, let's do a quick rethink. So I've got 2-0. And I'm going to go Ryan McGree to score again. I think it tends to get a goal, and then he gets a couple of goals, Ryan McGree, before he gets injured. So yeah, hopefully that doesn't happen here. But yeah, I fancy Ryan McGree to get a goal. I fancy us get 3 points. So yes, if you are going to the game Saturday, I say give one big shout for where you be stood, standing, singing.
Sorry, I didn't realise you were setting me up there. Yeah, yeah. I'd like loads of people to come to block 21 or 23, towards the back of the stand. We're spreading across the back now, and noise is improving. So yeah, there's a few seats available. Come and join us, get involved, and just stop after the game, have a bit of a chat, have a pint in the bar, and let's go from there.
Exactly. And because I'm such a lovely soul, and if you are struggling to get a ticket for the game, and you do have is it Borough ID? Is that the right phrase for it? I can transfer you my season ticket. Row 34, seat 120, block 23. So I'll get in touch. I'll happily transfer it for the Oxford game. It's there to be used. Unfortunately, I've only seen Dale Fry score. That's all I've seen this season with mine. So, but I'll be cheering the lads on again, and I will be back very, very soon. So I can't wait for that. I'm building up and up and up, aren't I? But yeah, just get in touch if you want a ticket. Get in touch. Grab it. And with that cheerful ending, that's it for the week. We started on a bit of a downer, but we brought it up. And I'll leave it to John to basically just tell you exactly what you need to do on Saturday when you go and watch us hopefully beat Oxford.
You've just got to get behind the lads, haven't you? You've just got to give it everything, because there's not many games left now, and we can play our part.
Exactly, we can play our part, and that's exactly what the meeting is about tomorrow night as well. So if you can get to that meeting, please do. They say, is the beverages on offer?
I'm not sure. There will be there'll be teas and coffees. I don't know whether there'll be a bar open. I don't know.
I mean, they were the beverages I was about teas and coffees. I wasn't saying get a free
All
bar
right.
on the go. But there you go. Go and get a warm cup of tea. Go and tell the lads what you think about the atmosphere and how we can improve it. And get your word across. And You know, it's not a closed group. It's not a closed book. You know, we're open to everyone. So yeah, get your ideas in and make the Riverside a bigger fortress than it already is, and just ramp the sound up because that's what it needs. Yeah, I'll leave it there. Arrivederci. Up the